Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to try and walk you through all of the settings and features of the Casio WS1700 watch. This is the Tide and Moon Illuminator watch. Let's get started with how we set the time on it. To set the time and date, you're going to start from the main timekeeping mode and press and hold the adjust button. It's the top left button on the watch. After a couple seconds, you will see your seconds blinking. This is the very first setting you have in your time and date settings. If you need to adjust your seconds, you can press the bottom right button while they're blinking. That will reset them to 0. Then you're simply going to press the mode button to take you to your next setting, which would be your daylight savings time value. You'll notice in my case it's blinking and the indicator is showing off. If I wanted to change that, again, I would use the bottom right button and I can simply toggle it on or off. Once you have your daylight savings time value set, press the mode button another time. It will take you to your hour value. In this case, we could use either of the two buttons on the right-hand side. The top button will take us down. The bottom right button will take us up. You can also press and hold to go through faster. Once you've got your hour set, press the mode button. It will take you to your minutes. Again, we could use either of the two buttons on the right-hand side to adjust our minutes. Once you have your minutes set correctly, press the mode button another time. It will take you to your year. Again, the two buttons on the right can be used to adjust your year. Press the mode button another time. It will take you to your month. And again, we can use either of the two buttons on the right-hand side to adjust our month. The last setting is going to be your date of the month. So mine's set to the 20th. Again, I can use the two buttons on the right-hand side to adjust that date if I need to. If I press mode one more time, it's just going to take me back to the very first setting, which was my seconds. I could press mode again if I needed to go to a different setting and adjust it. Once you're totally done with your time and date settings, you're going to press the adjust button 2 times to save and get out of the settings mode. First time you press it, it's going to take you to your UTC differential. Second time, it will take you out of your settings mode and you've successfully adjusted your date and time. To adjust your DST value from your main timekeeping mode, press and hold the adjust button. It's the top left button on the watch. Your seconds will start blinking, letting you know you are in your settings mode. You're simply going to press the mode button 1 time. It's the bottom left button. The next indicator that should be blinking is your DST value. Mine's currently set to on. If you want to toggle that, you're going to use the search button. It's the bottom right button. You can toggle it off or on by simply pressing it. Set it to whatever value you want. When you're done, you're simply going to press the adjust button 2 times. That will save your DST changes, kick you out of your settings mode, put you back in your timekeeping, and we've successfully adjusted our DST value. The watch delivered from Casio is set to home site information for Tokyo, Japan. You're going to want to update this because this is going to control the tide and moon information that you see on the watch. We're going to want to update it for our current location settings. The way we do that is we're going to press and hold the top left button on the watch, which is the adjust button. That will take us into our settings. When we're in our settings, we're simply going to press the adjust button 1 time. The values that we're looking at here, there's 3 values you're going to need to know. The first is your UTC differential. The second is going to be your longitude value for your home location and your lunitidal interval for your home location or your nearest beach. The first value we can set is our UTC differential. We can use either of the two buttons on the right-hand side to adjust our value. The bottom button will move you up. The top button will move you down. Once you've got that value set correctly, you're going to simply press the mode button. It will take you to your next value, which is going to be your longitude value. You don't need latitude, you just need a longitude. Again, we will be using the buttons on the right-hand side. You can press and hold. The top button will move you down, just like before. The bottom button will move you up. Press mode again, it will take you to your east-west indicator. You're going to be using the bottom right button for this. It's a simple toggle, east or west. Once you've got that set correctly, you'll simply press the adjust button 1 more time, and the last value is going to be your lunitidal interval. You can use the buttons on the right-hand side to adjust this accordingly. Once you've got it set, if you need to go back through any of those, you can press the mode button and you can cycle through to check your values. Once you're totally done, you'll simply press the adjust button and you've successfully set your home site information on the watch. To switch your time format between 12-hour and 24-hour from the main timekeeping mode, all you do is press the bottom right button. Note, when we change this, it's a global setting. So if you change your
main time to be 24-hour format, your dual time will also be 24-hour format, or vice versa if you set it to 12-hour format. Press the bottom right button. Now I'm in 24-hour format. Press it again. Now I'm in 12-hour format. It's a simple press of one button. You have two options for your backlight time duration, 1.5 seconds or 3 seconds. To adjust your backlight duration, from the main timekeeping mode, we're going to press and hold the top left button, which is the adjust button. It'll take us into our settings mode. You'll see a value up here for LT. That is your light time. And then you should see an indicator here showing what your current setting is. This single dash means I'm set for 1.5 seconds. I can press the light button and I can toggle that 3 seconds or 1.5 seconds. Set it to whatever value you want. Once you've got it set correctly, you're simply going to press the adjust button 2 times and you've successfully adjusted your backlight duration. At a glance from the main watch face, you can always see your current moon phase and your current tide information. You can also press the mode button 1 time to go into the moon and tide mode, and you can view additional information. It's going to drop you in on whatever was the last value you used, whether that was moon data or whether that was tide data. In my case, the last thing I used was moon data, so that's what we're seeing here. This is the current date, June 28th, 2024 is what the 24 is showing, and then it's showing me my moon age and my moon phase. If I wanted to switch and look at tide information, I can simply press the adjust button while I'm in that mode, and you've got a toggle. There's my tide information today as of 6 a.m. There's my moon information. If you wanted to go to a different time value, while you're in your tide view, if you press the bottom right button, it'll adjust you an hour. You'll notice as I'm pressing it, my tide value up here will change. In the same way, if you're on the moon view, if you press the bottom right button, it will advance your days. And again, if you watch my moon, you can see the moon phase change. What if you want to specify a specific day to go look at? You don't want to sit there and just keep pressing and holding this value. While you're in this mode, you can press and hold the adjust button, top left button. Your year will start blinking. You can go back as far as the year 2000. The actual date you can go back to is January 1st of 2000, or you can go as far in the future as December 31st, 2099. You can use either of the two buttons on the right-hand side to choose my year. So let's go look at 2025, and then we can press the mode button. We can change our month. Press the mode button again, and we can change our our date. So if we wanted to go look at what's going to be the tide and moon information on December 25th, Christmas Day, 2025, we could set that. We're going to simply press adjust once we're done. And this is going to be our tide information as of 6 a.m. on December 25th, 2025. And that's going to be my moon phase. And then again, I could press the bottom right button, go to a different hour. Same thing if I'm on the moon. This will be my starting date. And again, I could press the bottom right button to move forward to a different date from there. It's not going to remember that value that you just set there. So again, I'm in my tide view. We're looking at January 2nd, 2026. Let's say we're totally done looking at our data. Let's simply press the mode button. If we don't do anything for 3 minutes, it will kick us back out of this mode, put us back in our main timekeeping. But I'm going to press the mode button, get back to the main timekeeping. Let's go into it again. And when you go back in, it'll always drop you on the current date. The watch has a stopwatch that has a duration of up to 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59.99 seconds. To get to the stopwatch mode, you're going to press the mode button 2 times. You'll notice a mode that says ST, and that's your stopwatch mode. To start your stopwatch, you're simply going to press the bottom right button. You'll notice as I start the stopwatch, up here you're going to have a graph that goes around to show you a 60-second duration. If I want to pause it or stop it, I'm going to press the bottom right button again. Now it's paused. While it's paused, if I press it again, it will resume. While it's paused or stopped, if you press the top left button, it will reset your values back to 0. If you want to record a split while your stopwatch is running, you're simply going to press the top left button It'll display your split time. Your stopwatch is still running in the background, and your graph will still be going around. When you want to release your split, pretty simple. I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to reset it. If you're a coach and you're trying to record two different runners, when the runners start, you're going to press the start button. When your first runner finishes, you're going to press the adjust button. Similar to doing a split. There's the time of my first runner. My second runner is out there still running. When my second runner finishes, I'm going to press the bottom right button. And now the race is done. Here's my first runner's time. Press the adjust button. There's my second runner's time. Press the adjust button again. I've reset back to 0. You can keep the stopwatch running in the background. So I've got my stopwatch running. I can go to any other mode. The most common thing I'd probably need to do is go set the time. That's one of the negatives about this watch is you don't have a time display while you're in the stopwatch mode. But I'm in my main time display. We press the mode button twice, go back to our stopwatch. We can see that the stopwatch has been running. And there's a better view of that graph since I've let it run a little bit longer. Pretty simple. That's how you use the stopwatch feature. To use the countdown timer mode from the main timekeeping watch face, you're going to press the mode button 3 times. You'll be in a mode that says TR. You're going to still have your moon phase and your tide information. You're also going to have your current time displayed here. It's 1:24 p.m. And then you've got your timer value down here. The minimum you can set is 1 minute. The maximum you can set is a 24-hour timer. I'm going to go ahead and press the bottom right button to begin my countdown timer. You're going to have this graph up here that represents a 60-second display. It will count down every 60 seconds. I can stop the timer by pressing the bottom right button or pause it. I can resume it. While it is stopped, I can press the top left button to reset back to my timer default value, which in my case was set to 1 minute. You do have some setting options you can do with your timer. If you wanted to adjust that while you're in your countdown timer and it is not running, you press and hold the adjust button. It's the top left button. After a couple seconds, you will see your hour indicator blinking. If you wanted to adjust the hour value for your countdown timer, again, this is going to be our default value. You could use either of the 2 buttons on the right-hand side. Once you've got your hour set, you're going to press the mode button. It's the bottom left button. Takes you to your minute value. Again, you can adjust that. If you set it like this, all zeros, that's 24 hours. So I'm going to set it to 5 minutes. If I press mode again, you're going to get to this next option, which is basically your repeat. You can see that there's a repeat icon showing here. What this means is when my countdown timer gets to 0, it will go off, and then after a few seconds, it will automatically repeat the countdown timer. If you have this turned off, when your countdown timer goes off, it will just stop, and it will not repeat until you go back in and press the start button. You can toggle this either on or off using the bottom right button while it's blinking. If I press mode again, it's just going to take me back to my hours. Those are the only settings you have for your countdown timer. Once you've got it adjusted correctly, you can press the top left button to get out of the setting mode. And now I've reset or changed my default values for the timer. So now my countdown timer is running. Should mention you don't have to stay in the countdown timer mode. You can go to any other mode you want, and the timer will be running in the background, but you don't know it's running until you go and look at it. You will hear it beep once the timer has expired, no matter what mode you're in. If I stop it and restart it now, my default value is now 5 minutes. This watch has 3 different alarms and an hourly signal. One of your alarms can also be set as a snooze alarm, which means it will continue to repeat every 5 minutes until you turn it off. To get to your alarm mode, we're going to press the bottom left button 4 times. Once we're on our alarm mode, it's going to put you on the last value that you were on. The all zeros is going to be your hourly chime. If you want to change to a different alarm, you can press the bottom right button. You have alarm number 1, alarm number 2, alarm number 3. Press it again, you're back to your hourly chime. If you want to turn on any one of your alarms while you're on that value, you're simply going to press the adjust button 1 time. You'll notice that the alarm is now on. It shows you per alarm whether it's on or not. It's kind of hard to see there, but we can see that we've got an alarm on. Now, if I go back to alarm number 1, we don't see that on. We don't see alarm number 2 on, but we can see that we have alarm number 3 on. That ALM indicator will display in every mode that you're on, including your main timekeeping mode, so you can always see that you have at least one alarm turned on. If I wanted to adjust the time on an alarm while I'm on the given alarm, let's adjust time number 1. You're going to press and hold the adjust button, top left button. After a couple of seconds, the value for the given alarm will start blinking, the hourly value, I should say. The time display is going to follow whatever your main time display is. So my time display is in 12-hour format. That's why I see the AM PM indicator here. If you were in 24-hour format, you would be seeing the 24-hour format value. You can use either of the two buttons on the right-hand side of the watch to adjust your hourly value. Press the mode button. It'll take you to your minute value. Again, you can use either of the two buttons on the right-hand side to adjust your minute value. Press the mode button again. It'll take you to your month value. If you leave the month, set it blank, that means it will go off every month. You could use the buttons on the right-hand side of the watch and you could adjust it per month. So if I wanted this alarm to only go off in the month of November, I could set that to 11, and while the alarm is on, it will not go off unless the month is November on the watch. I would think most people would leave this as dash, but it's kind of a cool feature if you wanted to have a monthly alarm. I'm going to go ahead and press the mode button again. It'll take me to my days. Again, the days work the same as the month. If I leave it as this, it is a daily alarm. Every day it will go off. However, if I pick a certain day, for example, the 5th, that means this alarm will go off every month on just the 5th. If I set the month to a given value, like a minute ago we had it at November, if I would have left it at November 5th, it would be a yearly alarm. Every year on November 5th, the alarm would go off. So again, you could set the date to whatever value you want. Kind of a cool feature if you're wanting to do a repeat value. And then if I press mode again, it takes me back to my hour, and that's it. Once you've got everything adjusted, you're going to press the adjust button one time, and it'll kick you back out. We've successfully changed our values for alarm number 1. You'll notice that it automatically turns on that alarm when you adjust it. So if you wanted to turn it off, you would press that button again. You'll notice with alarm number 1, when I tried to turn it off, it's showing snooze. Alarm number 1 is your snooze alarm. So it's off, on, and you've got it set to snooze, or it's off. Whereas if I go to alarm number 2 or 3, it's either on or off. Last but not least, you have your hourly signal. There's no settings value for this. You can simply turn it on. You'll notice the little icon showing that it's on, and turn it off. Once you're totally done with your alarms, you can press the mode button 2 times, get you back to your main timekeeping. If you want to test your alarm on this watch, you can press the mode button 4 times to get you to the alarm mode. While you're on the alarm mode, all you have to do is press and hold the bottom right button, and you will be able to hear your alarm. Once you let go, the alarm will stop. That's how you test your alarm. You can simply press the mode button a couple more times, get you back to your main timekeeping mode. To use the dual time mode from the main timekeeping watch face, you're going to press the mode button 5 times. You'll eventually end up in a mode that looks like this. You'll see DT, that stands for dual time, and you can look at 2 different times at the same time. You'll notice this 7:48 that's showing is my current home city time, or my main time from my main timekeeping mode. The bottom value is going to be my dual time mode. They are going to follow, the bottom value will follow whatever time format you have your main time in. So you can see from the PM indicator here that I have mine showing in 12-hour format. That means both values have to be in 12-hour format. If I wanted to switch that to 24-hour format, I could, and then both values will switch to 24. But you can't have one in 24-hour and one in 12-hour. Anyway, that's a quick look at it. If you wanted to change this dual time value while you're in the dual time mode, we're going to press and hold the adjust button. It's the top left button on the watch. You'll notice a blinking indicator for DST. This is the daylight savings time value for your dual time. You can have daylight savings time on for your dual time and off for your home time if you wanted to, or vice versa. If you need to adjust this, you're simply going to press the search button. It's the bottom right button. While it's blinking, you can turn it on
or you can turn it off. You'll notice the hour indicator adjusts depending on which value you choose. Once you've got your daylight savings time value set, we're simply going to press the mode button. That will take us to our hour value. You can use either the top button on the right or the bottom button on the right to adjust your hour value. You can also press and hold to change that. You'll notice this little indicator up here is going to be showing your dual time. So as I'm sitting here cycling through, you'll notice that that's changing. Whereas on the main watch face in your main time mode, it shows your main time. Once you've got your hour set correctly, you'll press the mode button. It'll take you to your minutes. Again, you can use either of the two buttons on the right-hand side to adjust your minutes. And that's really the last setting. If you press mode one more time, it's just going to take you back to your DST value. Once you're totally done, press the adjust button. It's the top left button. That'll save your changes, take you out of your settings, put you back into your dual time mode. Once you're done with dual time mode, you can simply press the mode button one time. It'll take you back to your main watch face.
To turn button tones on or off in any mode other than a settings mode, all you're going to do is press and hold the bottom left button. You'll notice there's not an icon showing here, which tells me that my button tones are on. I can test that also by pressing a button. If I want to turn them off, press and hold. After a couple seconds, you'll see an icon displayed on the screen that's a bell with a line through it, or a music note with a line through it. Now if I press any buttons, it's silent. Your alarms will still work, your countdown timer alerts will still work, but pressing buttons will not make a noise. If you want to turn them back on, you're going to press and hold the mode button again. The icon is gone. I've successfully turned my button tones back on.
The last thing to show you is how to illuminate your backlight. You have an independent light button. It's the top right button on the watch. Again, we can adjust the backlight duration. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my overhead lights. Anytime you want to turn on your backlight, you can simply press the top right button and your backlight will turn on. I have the duration set for 3 seconds. That's a look at the backlight. That concludes all of the features of the watch. As always, I hope the video helped. If it did, thumbs up are always appreciated. Thanks for watching.